Oh lord, no. Chess is a microdose infinity. Exurb 1A is like such a good video too. This guy makes like such content. Insanely good. Like it's like entry point philosophy is like so on point.
The devil has come to Pennsylvania.
And yeah, I've got a lot of ads. I guess now we can review ads. Like, is there anything to be said? Like,
Sokolov opens with d4, Chentovich replies d5, then c4, and that's the Queen's Gambit. Declined. Both horses out now in the double clop defense. Sokolov takes on d5, Chentovich with a recapture, then a hairline fracture, Cleopatra coming at ya, Margaret Thatcher in a dacha, King fling, diagonal wingding, and then Socrates in a g-string. Declined.
No,
Now
what do you mean
slides to the
declined?
left, 2 hops this time, Charlie Brown. Next, a vulgar gesture from Sokolov. Chentovich counters by stamping on his opponent's foot. Sokolov has turned his attention to the crowd to romantically proposition Chentovich's mother, and is quite understandably declined. Then the Bidlington Todger Scrambler,
mean
the
declined?
French Judi Dench, the Croatian Crustacean, and piss in a plastic cup and give it to a vicar. Now the traditional 30 minutes for Jaeger bombs, 20 minutes for random moves.
do they
and
really
Chentovich
take
informs his
shots in the
opponent
middle
he's
of the tournament? They're like time for a Jagger bomb.
a despicable troglodyte who probably shags pelicans. Then takes, snakes, frakes,
Cheers.
30 love, and by jingo, that's number wang. Now, Chentovich breaks into Sokolov's house and licks all of his fruit. Unconventional move there. Sokolov files a restraining order. Chentovich assembles a small militia of armed capybaras. Sokolov petitions the UN for a nuclear strike. Chentovich contacts extraterrestrials for assistance, but last night was a wild one. Sokolov initiates a blood pact with Lamashtu, the Mesopotamian goddess of pure evil, and summons the malevolent forces of hell.
Classic
Very
chess
cheeky.
move.
While Chentovich assumes control of the laws of nature, destabilizes the Higgs field, beginning the collapse of physical reality, also known as the extra
Dude, you
fluffy
didn't tell
German
me chess
space
was that
apocalypse,
good. That was
leading
that
us to
fun.
the obvious question: who
Is that what
actually
happens when you,
enjoys
like,
playing this fucking game?
I feel like, okay, am I crazy to think about chess about like, after a while, it's always kind of the same game? Like, I feel like, how much like flexibility there is, like, yeah, of course, but I feel like it's always the same move that probably comes out all the time, no?
1,500 years ago in India with a game called Chaturanga. You
Really?
can
It's
still play it
India
today.
thing?
There's no queen, but there are elephants, and in the unlikely event that you have 3 friends, there's a 4-player version. Lovely.
Oh.
Anyway, it ended up in Persia a century or so later and evolved into a similar game called Shatranj. It was the Persians who introduced the idea of checkmates, from Shah for king and Shachmat, meaning the king is boned, ending the game. Next, Emperor Timur popped up in Central Asia and threw in giraffes and camels and war engines. Then the Chinese added cannons, toot. And finally Europe got it.
So chess is, I really thought chess was like a European thing. But I guess it was like everywhere at once. They just started in India. Chinese took like some part of it, the Persian too. And European just said, oh, we created it. Classic white people. That is a history joke because, you know, they always like... there's more chess position after move 5 than atoms. Okay, really? So that's where it gets like a bit more, okay, I see.
Its feudly little hands on
That's where you need to like be be a bit more flexible to see like where the entries when it changes. It did start in India, but Europeans are the one who made it popular. Oh yeah.
the thing and brought in castling and 2 square advancing pawns, and by the 1800s it was more or less the rules we despise today. So this cat-handed liability is the king. He can do a staggering 1 square move in any direction.
Okay.
And this is the queen.
pretty-
Originally, the
I
queen was
understand
called
that.
the advisor and could only move 1 diagonal square. But the 15th century was a time of powerful ladies, particularly Queen Isabella of Spain, and it's possible that Spanish scholars turned God mode on for that piece in honor of her. Today,
You know, that's kind of cool, right? The history of why the queen is like the most powerful pawn. It's like such a thing that doesn't work with like how usually you see history, you know?
she
But like
can
in the
do
game, it's
whatever
like
she
the most
bloody likes.
powerful thing.
Then there are the knights, who have always taken the L like this. You might say, does that look like a knight?
Oh,
really?
gee.
What kind of mentalist was
Queen is
giving
in a pawn,
military
you
titles to
fucker. What do you mean
animals?
it's not a
Well,
queen is a
this
piece?
is
Oh, queen is a piece, same thing.
Staff Sergeant Reckless. No, this is Staff Sergeant Reckless. She fought in the Korean War and the US Army was so impressed they promoted her twice. Then this is Niels Olaf, a brigadier in the Norwegian King's Guard. And this is William Windsor, a goat who was a lance corporal in the British Army, though after headbutting a drummer during the Queen's birthday party, what the fuck, William? He was demoted down to Fusilier. Some animal.
He got demoted! That is not his fault! He had a reason for like bumping the fucking drummer. Maybe he was offbeat. It was a birthday of the Queen. The drummer needs to. It was. Oh my
His
god,
rank
poor
was
goat.
reinstated. So why shouldn't horses be
Okay,
knights?
cool.
Don't you feel like a bastard now? Then there are the bishops, zipping about in the diagonals. Originally in chess, bishops were elephants, but we don't really do war elephants in Europe, so that got dropped. And finally, there are the rooks, or castles,
elephants could have been,
originally
like,
called
fucking
chariots,
crazy.
who can only move vertically and horizontally, like so, and oh god, I'm so sorry about this. Maximilian,
JJ.
you're fired! Today, there are lots of variations of chess. Fischer Random, where the back rank pieces are scrambled. Anti-chess, where the goal is to lose as hard as possible. I know the feeling. Then there's chess on a really big board, which is perhaps the most straightforward wiki title since Death by Coconut or Feast of the Ass. Anyway, it's been centuries, and of all games, why do humans still like this one? Well, for one thing, chess is really useful for metaphors. Islamic philosophers thought that it taught patience and reasoning. For fighty Europeans,
It's such a
it was
great
a
mental
militarized
game.
battleground. Today, it could apply to anything. For example, there's Zugzwang, which is where you find yourself in a position where every move is a bad one, but you have to
Zugzwang.
move. Sounds a bit like life. Or how the game is a collaboration, but ultimately you're completely alone in your mistakes. You know, like life. Speaking as a
Oh, that's so
18,000
pretty. That's
elo shit
pretty.
player, I quite like the feeling when you end up in a position with too many moving parts, with each choice as a door before you, and you have very little idea of what's coming next. Because at that point, you have stepped into a million uncertain futures, like life. Chess looks like a board game, but it's an infinity simulator. That's what it does.
Wow.
That's probably why humans enjoy it so much. Says who? Says me. I just wrote it down. Take it up with my mum. It teaches humans how to confront.
Okay, there's one way you could enjoy chess as a metaphor for life, and I would like make the pieces a metaphor of like the way you traverse doors. Or it's just cool. It's like a cool puzzles, right? It's a cool strategy
The
fighting
horrible
game.
infinite.
It's Smash Bros. Before Smash
And
Bros.
on that note, let's say you're chronically unemployed on a Tuesday afternoon and you've ended up playing chess online against some random whoever, and your opponent captures your knight. How would you continue in this position? I'll give you a moment.
Rich wit, rich wit.
That's a moment. Well, their queen is right there, but that's checkmate from the rook if you take it. You could try to stop the pawn promoting with your bishop, but that's your rook gone and checkmate anyway. And if you try to defend with the rook, that's just going to be long, slow death. You're screwed. But that's okay, you can't win them all. This is what chess is all about, learning to be defeated with dignity. So what now?
No, it's
well,
not.
You take a breath. You
That's the
promise to
thing
learn
you
from
can
your-
add. That's the thing you can add to the game to be like, oh, anything could be like about like learning to patience and learning to like take an L. That is not a chess thing. You know what I mean? It's not a chess thing. I'm pretty sure there's like rage quit like assholes on chess too, you know?
your mistakes.
That is not a
Then
chess
you
thing.
congratulate
That's
your
just a-
opponent and move on to your next. No, actually, what's their username again?
Oh, see,
Alan
it's going to
Sharp
the
91. You go through their game history. Nothing there, except he keeps playing someone called Robin Sharp. Same last name.
I think
Maybe
he's
that's
right.
a relative
Really?
or something. And oh yeah, you find the same profile on social media, so that must be him. And he has a friend called Alan Sharp. That's almost definitely the guy you're
Cthulhu.
playing, isn't it? Ah, he likes scuba diving and novelty-sized mini owls. Nice. And apparently he works
You
as
have
a
no idea to
London
comment about
money
with
person or
yourself.
something at this company that you definitely didn't
Yeah,
just look
true.
up. And oh, there's his phone number. Well, that was easy. I mean, obviously
But
you're
people
not gonna
don't
actually
rage
use it, though.
still.
That would be completely
You can't be
inappropriate.
mad even if it's not like directed at like
Hello?
Oh, hello. I was trying to get hold of Alan, if possible.
Oh, I think he's around.
You
Can
need to
give
learn
me a
how to
second?
deal with
Yeah,
defeats.
of course.
Yeah,
sorry,
for
I
sure.
didn't mean to interrupt whatever you're up to.
Oh no, that's fine, that's fine. Just let me see if I can find him. How's your day going today?
Oh, it's great, thanks. How about you?
Yeah, excellent, thank you. Right, here he is now.
Oh, thank you so much. I really
That's
appreciate
me
that.
calling
No,
my
the pleasure's
viewers.
all mine.
What-
Have a lovely day.
What? What? What does that mean? I don't get this niche things. Xer1A.
Hello.
Oh, hello there. So sorry to bother you.
No, that's all right. What can I do for you?
Sorry, strange question. Are you playing chess online at the moment?
Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, listen, Alan, wonderful to meet you. I just want to invite you to go fuck yourself. Great chess players aren't computers.
That's it?
They are artists. And like
Find his
great
house,
artists,
burn it!
They dance with infinity.
Don't you know
My
what
hero,
Ark
and
is?
perhaps yours, is a chess
Joan, yeah, I know what Joan Arc is, like the girl that pretended to be a knight or something, right?
demon called Mikhail Tal, who often gave away valuable pieces like they were Tic Tacs. For example, just donating a queen here. Why do this? Because then you can do this, and this, and this. Disgusting. In his words, you
Bates!
must take your opponents
The
into a deep dark
crazy
forest where 2 and 2
Bates!
make 5, and the path leading out.
That's
is
my
only wide
strat.
enough
That's
for-
the thing I'm trying to do, okay? I'm trying to get these meta games of like baiting people into thinking they're
One. He was a magician,
Oh,
but many others
the
had a
bait.
more unpleasant relationship to infinity.
crazy.
Paul Morphy was an American player in the 1800s who, by his 20s, having defeated all the major names in his own country, he
That's
then
what you
wandered
need
over
to know-
Europe
to
and
learn,
absolutely
Nick.
munted us as well, even once thrashing 8 opponents simultaneously while blindfolded. Then he lost interest and retired. He was probably just too good and eventually stopped playing entirely. He began to grow mentally distressed, to say the least, convinced his brother-in-law was trying to ruin him, and fell into years
He
of
got fucking
paranoia. He died
psychotic.
suddenly at 47.
Of course, he got
in a bath.
psychotic of
He
like
is often
knowing the chess like so bad. Imagine if you build your I don't know the story of his life, but imagine like all your life the only thing you're going to make your brain be able to do is chess, and then you try to have a normal life. You can't. You get psychotic or something.
quoted for saying, "The ability to play chess is the sign of a gentleman. The ability to play chess well is the sign of a wasted life." Then there was Alexander Alekhine. He was brilliant, but after a long career, he began turning up drunk at the chessboard and slipped also into paranoia.
Ah,
A
no,
big
the
fan of cats,
paranoia.
though. In 1935, he arrived at the Polish border without
You're too good at making connection. You're like, oh my god. It's just such a logical game, and you know that's the thing with paranoia. It's like there's a really like you're able to like find a reason why your paranoia is real, right? So it's like, in a sense, not to make correlation and connection here, but like sense in somehow.
documents and
Being
apparent-
so logical, you're able to like bait your own self into your paranoia.
he declared,
And then you got emotion, and you know emotion how they work. They kind of don't really care about facts, you know. You know how Ben Shapiro says emotion and facts don't care about your feelings. Feelings don't care about facts either.
"I am Alekhine, chess champion of the world. I have
So,
a cat called Chess. I do not need papers." He was likely
I'm Alkaline, chess champion of the world. I have a cat called Chess. I do not need papers.
immediately arrested. Or there was Wilhelm Steinitz. In the 19th century, most people were playing the romantic style, mostly tactics and whizzy tricks, because good things come to those who bait. Steinitz disagreed.
Bait.
He realized that gambits are fun, but careful positioning could often break the smartest opponents. And it worked. He remained undefeated for 30 years and became the first ever official world champion. Finally, however, he was beaten by Emanuel Lasker and just never quite recovered. Chess didn't pay well back then, and so began the years of poverty, isolation, and mental illness. By the time he was institutionalized, he claimed to be playing chess over the phone with God. When asked how it was going, Steinitz replied, "I have the better position, but he's playing a very strong game." He died.
Another guy that went crazy, dude. Chess is too logical for your brain. That's the thing. You're not a computer. You are not a computer. And this game, to master, you need to almost become a computer, which is
Just a few
crazy.
years after that, completely penniless. I present to you.
Again,
the first-
again. It's like he's putting the case. He's showing the cases of like the weird ones. Dude, there's so many cases of paranoia within chess. Like, really? I just wonder if it's like a chess thing, or is it like more like a like in general? Is there's something about like how logical it is, and how if you become too logical in normal life, your brain just learned to be like good at chess, And like when it tries to like do normal stuff like dealing with emotions or like relationship, you're just like you kind of lost the how to like be logical about those things, because like relationship is like really intuitive, right? It's really about emotions and like not really just feeling the vibe. But oh really? That's kind of cool though. That's kind of cool. You know, I didn't know about that. That's really sick. That's really interesting.
Chess champion.
I love insane people.
Monomania is an obsession with one thing to the exclusion of everything else.
Ah, you see?
And chess seems extremely good at encouraging it. But why this game, though? Well, maybe because chess is easy to learn, but impossible to master. A kid could pick up the rules in an afternoon, but not even 100 lifetimes would be enough to solve the game itself.
You cannot. That's the thing. This game cannot be solved. It's not. There's no solving about this game. That's the thing. I don't know why you said like I don't know. It's such a small thing. But like chess is not a puzzles. It is to win the game, but like it's like each game is a new puzzle. It's like each game is a new way to win it. But like there's not one way. Each game is like unique.
Is exponential growth. When White begins a game, they have 20 moves available to them.
But here what's becoming interesting is like, okay, I understand where he's going with that, but like I'm trying to think about like if there's other games that master to like that level gets players that are like paranoia or some shit. Even if it's a field about just learning everything about your field. Like if I think about artists and like painters or whatever, there's like a side of like when you get too big, you're not too big, but too good at your thing, you kind of become insane. It's like Mozart. I was like you remember like it was like it became like weird because it was always like trying to impress a culture that was like not it is. It kind of made it really bad. I think those masters just get to the points where they're aware of how little they know compared to the engine and they aren't able to be perfect. And I think that's what triggers them. You think they're like they realize how small they are and that's why they go crazy. I mean that's a cool answer. I've got the boring psychology like cognitive way. You know, it's just like
20 possible positions.
You learn to play so much and so well that the tools you're using to understand your chessboard is like the thing you're kind of going to map yourself upon on the other things around your life. And maybe chess is just like golden zone to somehow when you get to that level to like get triggered and it just generalizes a bit too much or something like that.
It's Black's turn, and whatever they do, we've now moved into 400 possible positions. By White's next turn, that's now up to 8,902.
But maybe there's that thing. But I think that's the thing. I don't think it's like trying each time you play a move, you don't see those 8,000. You try to like really see what pieces are there, and like play upon that. You see, it's like yes, there's 800 moves. But that's like, if every piece is not equal. But clearly there's pieces you're going to like know there's like more values into. And that's cutting so much. Right? So I think he makes this image just like, oh my god, 8,000. But like, practically, I don't think someone like cognitively, when it's faced to a move, see it that way. It's going to see patterns, and even then, seeing patterns is like chunking stuff, and it's like limits the amount of like calculation it needs in your brain. And so it's like that's why I think it's like you're not faced that much to that infinity when you're like seeing a piece of chessboard. Maybe like technically and mathematically and philosophically you are. But I think psychologically and like how really you treat information in front of you, I don't think you're like you have that. That seems like your brain just couldn't.
5 times, we're now into 69 trillion possible positions. The mathematician
again, I think it's just like
estimated that in a
trying
game
to make an image of chess on like far
possible games is 10 to the power.
And again, it's like in that instance, it's like it's trying to. You're going to like also think about all the possible ways you can have played. But once you make your move, you don't have to think back about what you did. I mean, to a sense, yes. But like, I don't think when you're like at a move, you're going to think about, oh, I could have done that. No, you're like, okay, now that's the new reality. the board is now like that. Okay, what could he play? What can I play? There's no like. Of course, they don't see every position, but the amount of these positions makes chess impossible to predict and possible to resolve for image. Yeah, I understand what he means there. But like, I'm not satisfied. I don't know how to really explain it, but I'm like not satisfied with like just saying, oh, it's infinite and it cannot be resolved.
Than the number of atoms in
For some reason, I'm not satisfied with this.
It's not hard to see.
It's good though. It's a fun video. It's like
peace of mind
fun philosophy, you know. But anyways.
Buzz, etc. As it turns out, bees bloody love a spot of football.
Dude,
which
it's
is
so
weird
cute.
since it suggests they like playing for the sake of playing, meaning maybe they have little bumblebee minds of a kind. Likewise, octopuses are partial to tug of war, otters juggle pebbles, and what about humans? Well, we seem to enjoy stuff that's just on the edge of understanding, then spirals off into chaos. Which is to be expected. We are the monkeys who want to know infinity. But this isn't limited to complex games. Games are just how we microdose infinity. It's kind of impressive we don't all go mad from the infinity we find in our lives every day. For starters,
Yeah, because we have brains that are able to like see what is of value and what is not of value. Even your animal could go insane because like there's so much information at all time. Games are not. Games are not. There's like so much going on in your vision. Like there's like so many stuff, so many lights, so many sounds at the same time. You could go mad to like just regular stuff, not even a game. Your brain is made to be able to like value stuff and like use those value to like actually plan something with it. It's just my, you know, it's just my,
there's
it's just
the
me.
numbery kind, of course. Like how the jump from 0 to 1 is
But
not
it is crazy how your brain was able to be built to be able to not fall into infinity like that.
larger than the jump from 1 to infinity somehow. No, really. So if we start with a number line, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, you could always keep counting upwards, obviously.
Until you die.
These are called natural numbers.
I won't
Then there are
die.
the real numbers. Real numbers include fractions and decimals as well. 0.3 and 1/8 and whatever else. Both sets, the natural and the real numbers, are infinite, kind of. They never end.
But again, should you break the brain to make you feel infinity? If the brain is not meant to like see infinity, is there ways to break it and to make you feel that infinity and actually break your brain? Maybe there's a way there. The thing is, before the game, you prepare for your opponent, you look at this previous game, analyze them, and try to find some holes in this game. Even though he might have played a certain move in previous game and you prepare for it, you can choose sometimes completely different in Osmarter. Yeah, I see. But like even then, you recognize patterns that have more value that you see are repeating. It's like in that infinity, there's going to be stuff that's going to repeat. In like that infinite stuff, there's going to be like stuff that are going to be more valuable and that's going to really pop off in your brain. And your brain is just like such a perfect tool that it's able to see that appears and not get confused about all the rest. But again, maybe there's a way to like trick your brain into seeing that infinity and just like making you jungle with a bit too much and like it goes.
Which set is larger? The real numbers between 0 and 1,
That's why they
or
say
the entire
philosophy is like
series of natural
drugs.
numbers all the way up to infinity? Well, to find out, we could just pair them 1 to 1 to see if both sets are the same size. So we'll start with the natural number 1 and pair it to a real number, say 0.1, and then the natural number 2, and we'll pair that with... But actually, why start with 0.1?
And again,
as the
I
first
think I'm
real
just
number?
like a...
Why not 0.01?
I'm doing this in
or
bad faith because
0.001?
now
We
I
can
know
always go
better
smaller,
philosophy
because
than
natural numbers
this.
are countable even if
I'm
you
so
keep counting
smart.
forever. Real numbers, decimals and fractions
Anyways.
are not. Which means that there must be more real numbers between 0 and 1 than there are natural numbers ever. Some
Wow.
infinities are bigger than others, because endlessness is everywhere,
I've got infinite time fucking your mom.
and not just in maths. What about the causal kind?
Sorry.
Years back, I was walking through a park in Europe when
Nice.
an elderly gentleman asked if I wanted a game of chess. I hadn't played in years, but what was the worst that could happen? I
In
think
chess, everything matters. There's anything that is more important than the other. It's a part of it. Yeah, but like what I'm saying here, remember, it's a certain pattern, but it doesn't matter. That pattern works with the. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that your brain is still going to value some stuff more than others. why that pattern is better to be used right now. It's like it needs to find that path. And now it does that path by like slowly but surely getting rid of like options. It's like, okay, I see this board. I'm seeing right now that there's a weakness there and weakness there. If there's a weakness there, I can count off half of my chances. And now I've got like way less than infinity. Okay, now I can do those two. With the tools I have, I could make this move or this move. Okay, this move could be great than this move, but it could be better than this move on the other path. And then you can value those two. Now you have planned two strategies. And now you have only two elements to counter jungle. Okay, and I've got this strategy and this strategy. Which one is better here? Okay, now I can evaluate how it could react to that path. You know? Even then, it's like you chess is very concrete. Yeah, but like you're not always in infinity. The infinity part is going to be the first time. But once you have found a strategy to evaluate, I feel it's like you're not going to take infinite time to see all the possibilities. After a while, you're going to get through like a lot of patterns you don't need. And that's where like it becomes until like you make a move. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I feel like I'm talking like abstractly. I'm trying to like even for myself, it's like it's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, really interesting though, like how do a brain treats a chessboard.
I did okay for maybe the first 11 seconds. Then, with a kindly smile, the guy completely
I feel like, yeah, chunking.
disassembled me. I walked home with my dignity miniature as a mouse condom and decided I didn't want to lose that stupidly ever again, which is how pushing wood eventually became a bit of an obsession. And a while later, here I am making the nonsense you're watching now. If it wasn't for that walk in that park on that day...
It's not as easy. Sometimes the positions are so sharp it takes an hour to draw a conclusion. There's hundreds of options you need to calculate. Yeah, but you see, there's still like a finite amount of time. There's still like, to get to that point, you need to be able to see what is of value and what is not. And the more you get better at this, the more you'll go fast through like that pattern work. You see? Yeah, of course, there's a lot of options. I'm not saying it's like it's fast. It's still a game that's like offer you a lot of options. But I really feel like you could train your brain to like be able to see what is of value and how to like use it better, than be stuck of evaluating infinity. The patterns may work in theory, but if it doesn't work technically, it could be garbage. And that's where you're able to evaluate what patterns matter and what pattern doesn't matter. And being able to like value stuff is a lot of the time you're going to like ways of treating like what pawns you're going to play. Does that make sense? Because I'm trying to have the same like ground here. We're talking about the same thing, and I feel like it becomes like hard to do some pop psychology. But yeah. That's interesting because you play a lot of chess, so you can like kind of talk to me like how does it feel? You know, that's interesting too.
Talking to you about any of this, and you wouldn't be wasting your time watching it. How much of that is happening every day to ourselves, to the world, our lives being born out of random coincidences in the infinite sea of all that could be? Like, what if Alex Fleming hadn't noticed the mold in the Petri dish that gave the world penicillin? Or what if Franz Ferdinand's driver hadn't made a wrong turn setting off World War I? Or if the Chicxulub asteroid had broken up in the atmosphere instead, leaving the dinosaurs alive, and it wasn't Homo sapiens who eventually won the evolutionary race, but cats or goats or...
But like, how much do you... Of course you can, you're aware of what you're trying to achieve, but again, at the end of the day, it all comes down to calculation, even though you understand the game. The patterns very well, you calculate like trash, you won't achieve anything. Yeah, but I guess that's the thing we're talking about, right? It's like, how can you improve that calculation of things? You're not going to be able to calculate infinity, so how could you prepare yourself to calculate the best way possible? You know? And that calculation... is we go back to like valuing patterns are like better to use or not, and all those patterns you could compare them to each other. It's really abstract. It's like
bats or stoats or wombats in time.
And even then, I don't think maybe you can get good, but like when I play chess, I'm not able to like think one turn in advance. My brain is just not good for calculation like that. And I guess like that's the skills that you're kind of able to think like one or two move in advance. But that shows you're able to like know what could happen. You know what could happen. What patterns is more prone to happen. What pattern is like technically more adaptive for your game.
Fucking lab coats. Or if our parents' hadn't bang-a-lang-a-langed on that particular day at that particular moment. Disgusting. The million other directions the past could have gone. The trillion other ways 8 billion of us could have been. With history as an accident, with the present as a dance of chance, and the future as a game with no winning moves.
Guys,
available.
is it crazy how life is so random and it's like
mental infinity?
Absurd?
Can you feel the edge of your own mind? I can't, and mine's tiny. In our imaginations, we can go...
The calculation is difficult. You obviously calculate only the things you needed, and sometimes you need to see 10 moves in your head, and more importantly, evaluate in your head what are you going to be. Yeah. It's really bad for me. Yeah, but like that's where you stretch a bit your brains, right? And I feel like, yeah, you can do like 10 moves, but that's how many like you can juggle with. But that's where you think about like the people that are like able to like the grand chess master, they're able to like juggle with like 20 moves. That's where you can go like crazy, because it's like your brain needs to be so specific to be able to like think in that specific way. It tries to do anything else and it cannot like work with that system. But yeah, of course, chess is a beautiful game for like stretching your mind for sure. I'm not saying yeah, of course it's hard. There's like so many options. But you see, it's like 10 moves. It's still not infinity. Even if those 10 moves have like each like their own like alternative, it's still not infinity. There's still a way that your brain is going to evaluate what alternative is going to be like more valuable to like juggle with. Which is like so interesting, right? To think about, like your brain is able to do that shit. Like it's such a powerful tool. It's like it's able to do that at the same time with giving you the emotion and the consciousness and like. How is it doing everything at the same time? Incredible.
All the way down to the bottom of reality, then up to the top, to the beginning and the end of everything if we're feeling playful. It doesn't seem like there's a boundary or a wall there. A bone cage about 14 centimeters wide is apparently enough to contain the idea of everything that ever was and could be. We're effectively infinitely big on the inside, and not to mention we're also infinitely unknowable. Most of the time, our own motivations are a mystery. Even when we go looking for them. Yet we never
It's
call
infinity
off
in
the
theory,
search
but in
for
practice
ourselves.
it's less like, of course, because if you have a knowledge, you more or less know which... Yeah, okay, that's the thing I'm trying to say. Yep, that's pretty much the whole thing. It's like, oh, it's technically not infinity, dude. You say it's infinite when it's technically not. Checkmate, idiots. Who won the chess game here? Me, because you're wrong. It's not infinity.
And then what about everyone else?
Bitch.
The thinker Emmanuel Levinas believed that we confront the infinites whenever we're presented with the faces of other people. Because as well as we will ever know anyone, we'll never really know them. We don't have direct access to their inner lives. Even the most boring whoever is a maelstrom of memories and confusions that only they can see. Internal maps of loss and longing that draw and redraw their own borders. The atlas of infinite self. Such that we can never fully know the territory from the outside. And all the while and stranger, we're all strangers to ourselves. And for that matter, what about spatial infinity? How long would it take to walk to the moon? Well, it's about 400,000 kilometers away. If you were hoofing it at 30 kilometers a day and didn't need to breathe, you could get there in, just 35 years.
Oh, that's not too bad.
What about our nearest neighbor planet, Venus? Well, at its closest, it's 38 million kilometers from us, so maybe with some decent hiking boots, that'll take you around 3.5.
Okay, that seems a long time.
If you wanted to be there by now, you would have had to have left around the late Bronze Age. The solar system is quite big, but let's get a wiggle on. The fastest humans have ever travelled is about 40,000 kilometers an hour. So let's
We're
say with
stuck on this
theory
planet,
physics,
bro.
We crack 400,000 kilometers an hour, and maybe we want to wander over to our nearest star system, Alpha Centauri. No problem. Traveling 10 times faster than we've ever gone, that'll only take you around 12,000 years. You would have had to have left just after humans discovered agriculture. Or what if we wanted to reach the center of our galaxy and fuck it, somehow we learned to travel at half the speed of light at about 150 million meters per second? That would still take 52,000 years.
That's why
Humans
there's
go
no
back to being
aliens, okay?
hunter-gatherers.
That's
The
why there's no
galaxy is
aliens. Do you really think only with the planets you're able to get these technologies to go that fast? Am I crazy to say, like, maybe it's like you can spawn on a planet, you're an alien, you can spawn on a planet, but like the planet itself is not going to give you enough materials to even have the technology to leave it like goodly, you know?
quite big. And we're not even off our front doorstep yet. If we wanted to
And that's
reach our
without
nearest
all the
major
these
neighbor galaxy,
problems of
Andromeda,
intelligence.
let's just break physics and travel
Like-
at the speed of light itself, and ignoring cosmic expansion and relativity, going as fast as anything can
If
go.
Elon Musk will offer you to explore and try to develop civilization on Mars, but it will never come back on Earth, will you go? If it's Elon Musk, no.
That would
Dude, the kind of society is going to make is like going to be the fucking worst. You don't want Mars to be this guy. You don't you don't want this guy to be Mars, okay? It's like this guy goes to Mars for his own sake, just because he wants to be like, guys, I'm like Julius Caesar of like the 2020s. You don't want Mars over then. Would I go on Mars? If I can't find a girlfriend by the time I'm 30, sure. I'll give a. If by 30 I don't have a girlfriend and I just like I'm a nerd learning like still I don't know what, sure. Like at that point I wouldn't care. I will be like fuck, it's been 30 years at this point. I'm like over it. And then I'll stream on Mars. I'll play some Mega Bunk. I'll be like, guys, welcome to Mars. 4 minutes delay. That's pretty much what we have already.
take 2.5 million years.
Would
would have
you,
had to have
Nick?
during the
Would you, Nick?
Pleistocene era, woolly mammoths and
I feel
mastodons.
there's a
Then
world
to
there's a world I could, but like that's clearly not the world I'm building for. Okay.
M83, the southern pinwheel galaxy, that'll take 15 million years. Apes
Astronauts are cooler. Mars, that's something else. Astronauts, Mars, you need to give your life for Mars, dude.
are just getting the hang of walking upright, and we're still just pissing about in the neighborhood.
Going to send some Buddhist monk that don't care about being alone on Mars.
The universe is quite big. As we accelerate away now, every point of light becomes a galaxy containing billions of stars each. Next, let's pootle off to the Virgo cluster, 65 million years of travel. Antarctica hasn't started freezing yet. Then the galactic supercluster.
I wouldn't.
8169,
I'm
2.7
bored living in the
billion
city.
years
I
of
can imagine how
travel.
bored I would be.
On Earth.
Yeah, but the thing is like if you're going to Mars, your days are going to be like, you're going to have a job for the rest of your times. Okay, you're not going to have like 3 days, maybe like one like Christmas, but like you're going to work like 10 hours a day for the rest of your life, buddy. You won't have time to be bored. If you're going Mars, there's always going to be something to be done. That's like.
The sky was still orange, and to reach the most distant galaxy we've ever observed, MOM Z14, 13 billion.
Dude, okay,
years
so
away.
it's also, but at the same time, it's like, you know how they made like the trip to like North America? Maybe they'll do the same. You know, they're just going to send a bunch of like criminals on a boat with like a random like weirdo that's like Samuel de Champlain, drunk yard or something. Go on Mars, find aliens, pretend you're God, bring the aliens back. They die. Think you find diamonds? It's only quartz. Maybe that's a vibe. You know, like think about you know, I don't know, like in Poland what they talk about history, but like here, what a big part of our history in Canada and like the US, I guess, is like how we went from the Europeans and we went here, right? And the whole life of like the first colonizer, the first settlement. Like they live on boat for like 6 years, right? Not 6 years, but like 6 months. Like 100 guys on a 6-month trip to like the new world where there's only snow.
Would have had to have set off sometime just after the birth of everything
Imagine that.
itself.
Me
Is the universe
too.
infinite? We don't know, but for little insects like us, in our remote solar system, in our isolated galaxy, it may as well be.
That's why there's no aliens, okay? It's impossible to leave your star or something.
We could just both agree you got lucky with that last game and probably cheated. Do you want a rematch, maybe?
So you know what nation your ancestors were? Yeah, they were French. Yeah, they were French. In Quebec, it's like French people. The rest is like England. And personally, I have like family in a bit of English. A lot of like just Quebecer. Like I'm like Quebecer for Quebecer, you know. But I got some Irish ancestry too, and some English ancestry. I think I even that's the cool part. I think I've got like I think I got like a great grandmother that's like Amerindian. I don't want to say the word indigenous, but it's like a great grandmother. Otherwise, I've got like some Irish grandparents, my grandfather. I think I got some English somewhere, like great. Otherwise, it's like all Quebecers. So it's like people that lived here since like the beginning, like or like early beginnings. Oh yeah, you see the infinity there. When you move that pawn, you can feel the infinity.
See this coming? What a dickhead!
What?
Nothing.
What about you? I don't know, like Europe. Is that a thing in Europe? You have a lot of like ancestry that's like from other like country around or something. Like I don't know if there's like a lot of moving between countries.
You can't.
Like especially with the wars and stuff like that. That's not a thing. Like we live as close to us, right? The wars and stuff. So maybe there's a thing there too. That's not that far either. It's like your great grandfathers that were like the war. Yeah, there's a lot of you there. What about you? Do you have like all Polish? And it's done. That was a good video. That was fun. Just seeing the infinity. Just vibing at the infinity. Wanna watch Buddhism is out there, man?
Morning comes and you wake. Your first awareness is of boundless misery. You long for some kind of caffeinated beverage so you can be miserable faster. You exit your place of dwelling and enter the beverage establishment.
I think I have some Swedish ancestry. Ooh, Swedish, cool.
You say to the barista, milk or no milk, they ask.
It's mostly
milk,
Polish.
please. You say, Colombian or Brazilian beans? Colombian, you say? It
Polish
really
roots.
doesn't matter. Northern or southern Colombia? Really? I don't mind. I don't mind. Good choice. Now, beans that grow at 3,000 or 4,000 feet. What difference does... I don't care. I don't care. Well, there are at least 15,000 growers in that region. I really don't mind. Would you prefer your grower likes or dislikes rappers whose names begin with the prefix Lil? What? Lil Pump, for example. What?
Good.
I don't give a shit. Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Chair, Lil Table, Lil Dachshund, Lil Harpsichord, Lil Tokamak Nuclear Fusion Reactor. Well, Buddhists believe that is the human condition. Sort of. A perpetual cycle of chasing after contentment and ultimately receiving only dissatisfaction.
Always
This
once.
dissatisfaction is called dukkha, and this game of rebirthing over and over into dissatisfaction happens in samsara, which is where we live, apparently. And the idea is we stay in samsara, living, learning, dying, being reborn, until we hopefully attain enlightenment. But what's enlightenment? How is wisdom achieved?
You don't care.
What sweet bejesus is going
just
on with
die.
giraffes' tongues? No,
And
but
don't get
look at that.
resuscitated.
And that.
Nihilism is peak. Nihilism is peak? Nihilism depends. Depends how you use it. I don't know enough about nihilism, but like it depends.
It's been a weird
And like
year.
it depends how you use it. Because it's not because you're nihilistic that your life needs to be fucking depressing.
Well, for all of that, we'll need to talk about the big man himself, Siddhartha Gautama, who
My
we will surely
guy.
recognize from his stage name, the Buddha. We begin in Nepal about 2,500 years ago. Siddhartha Gautama is born into a Kushi royal family, and trying to be nice, Siddhartha's dad shields him from the nasty things in life and keeps him in a massive palace. Until, at 29 years old, on a rare jaunt outside the palace, Siddhartha notices...
29!
people who are,
It was
way
so
sick,
old!
And, way old, and way dead.
You got
and
traumatized at
realizes, as
29.
my climate friends insist on informing me.
The universe is a pretty gnarly place, bro.
So soon after,
They use the
Ulysses
good
killed
way,
him.
meaning fuck I live once, then it's great. Again, we could debate here. Even if you're going to live once, doesn't mean you can just say fuck it. Do you think because you have only one life, you have a responsibility? I kind of like this idea. Even if it sucks. If you use it in a good way, meaning fuck it, we live once. Depends.
And sets off in search of a way
And I
to
don't know
rid the
what you
world of
refer to that.
suffering. It's a lot.
No, but it's like nihilism is like, it's like I think nihilism is like usually like associated with like Nietzsche, but Nietzsche is going to say that, yeah, maybe the world is pain and all that stuff, but at the same time, it's like you're able to find your own path, and like finding your own path is like somehow how you going to be happy. And even then, there's like other like philosopher like I don't remember, but like some Danish guy that was like about like following like Jesus is going to make you happy, finding your reason to live and appreciating things and just being like aware of the absurdities. Like there's like this distance you take with it.
Story, but finally Siddhartha sits under a tree, determining that he will not get up again until he has realized
Just
the
stay
true
there.
nature of mind. The demon Mara approaches him and tries to lure Siddhartha away from enlightenment with distraction and lust, but Siddhartha is like, I'm busy, cheers, and indeed becomes
Demons,
enlightened.
please
And
let me in my head. I
Mara
don't
literally
care.
meant to blow out, to extinguish. We'll get to it in a
I
bit.
don't
It was
care,
then that
please.
Siddhartha became the Buddha, or literally the awakened one, because he was now free of the three great poisons: delusion, greed, and hate. So one would imagine he was, as my climber friends like to say, pretty stoked.
Well, it pushes you to achieve your goal because you have only one chance to get it. Yeah, so yeah. There's this thing. Yeah. And I think, yeah, you're right. I have nothing to say. Yeah.
Bro. And on your marks, get set, Buddhism, a world religion, is born. Oh yeah, the slightly tubby smiling guy you might have seen little statuettes of. Yeah, that's probably not the Buddha, but Budai, a 10th century monk. He's also thought by some to be Maitreya, who's...
Dude, Budai, it was like he had the big bag and was just giving candy to people. It was like, here we go, candy.
Maitreya. Okay.
That's
this
why
is
it's like
really-
always like...
So Buddhist philosophy is kinda out there, man. And while Buddhists...
He was like a kind of funny guy, too. The Budai guy. He was like this sort of like, not clown, but like, he was so chill. He was so alignment and chill, it was just funny.
A creation myth, the universe wasn't spoken or sneezed into being, they do have some fairly trippy ideas about time. Often, in Buddhism and Hinduism, cosmic duration is divided into eras called kalpas. When asked how long one type of kalpa was, the Buddha allegedly said the length of time it would take to reduce a mountain 16 by 16 by 16 miles to the size of a
Okay,
sea.
that's a knowledge I'm like questioning. Like, how did they get there? Did they really like? How did they know that kind of knowledge is not delusions? That's where like there's like a certain like type of faith in Buddhism. You know, there's a lot of like meditation that's like a bit less faithful. It's just like you stick in your head and you're able to have like distance to your inner self. Like when it's like those kalpas and like how you see the world, there's like a little bit of faith there. It's like how do they rationalize like it, you know? You know, the Christian like rationalize like why Jesus is like resurrected and all that shit. I gotta see the Buddhists what they say.
Silk cloth once a century, so a while. Now, in some interpretations, Siddhartha Gautama wasn't the first Buddha to turn up. There have apparently been a bunch before, and will apparently be a bunch after. And the next Buddha to turn up.
Imagine being so alignment, you don't even care about like showing others your alignment. That's like the most like alignment shit to do. You don't even care. You're like, I don't care. Why would I do that? I mean, ain't there a thing about like, oh, if you're alignment, you're supposed to have a responsibility or some shit? I don't know.
Current era, in our current Kalpa, ages from now, is supposed to be Maitreya, represented here, and possibly represented here also by this gentleman.
Budai.
And that's who the little tubby
Fat
one is,
guy.
so, yeah.
Bro was niche before it was popular. Yeah, it kept it niche. He was like, I don't care. I'm going to go in the forest alone with my alignment and my head. I don't care. Buddha, though? Oh, no. Guys, let's make a religion around me. Look how smart and alignment I am, and wisdom I am. Kuplas?
After about 45 years of teaching, the Buddha died in 483 BCE. We'll just jump ahead a bit because I'm bored, and 2 millennia later, and Buddhism has fractured into a bunch of different
I
schools.
like Zen.
One is Tibetan Buddhism, and this next
Tibetan's
cheerful
cool too.
bald gentleman is of course the current Dalai Lama. It's tempting to think of the Dalai Lama as the Pope of Buddhism, and kinda, but the real Pope isn't the head of Christianity, just the Catholic Church. And the Dalai Lama isn't the head of Buddhism, he's the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism. Dalai Lamas aren't elected, they're found. When a Dalai Lama dies, the High Lamas...
Mysticism is so cool though.
For the child, and the
Like those
deceased
like
Dalai Lama
esoteric
is
shit, like it's
appointed
like, oh my god, they're going to find it.
Then, once
Bro
the
was
child is
gatekeeping
defined-
it. Yeah, imagine. But I think there's a thing is like, oh, if you're really lying, you're going to not gatekeep it because you want like other people to be like happy with like a state of mind, something like that. Imagine it was gatekeeping only for himself. The ultimate incel. Maybe he didn't hate women, but like, oh man, no. If you're in alignment, I guess 8 doesn't even work anymore. It's like my mind is beyond everything of the world, of the social world.
Taken off to Lhasa, the capital of Tibet, to begin the process of learning to become the Dalai Lama again. The first
Dude, I
Dalai
don't
Lama-
care it's not real or not. It's like, I love that esoteric shit. I love those, like, even for Christianity, there's like, I'm fucking angels. Dude, no, God was on Jesus and he made him resurrected. I swear, he's just cool. He's just cool.
Born about 700 years ago and rose from a poor child born in a cattle pen to become
Dude,
one of the
I
richest
swear,
churches in Central Asia.
Satan is going to get in politics and it's going to be the rapture.
Dalai Lama II.
Don't want other people in their religion.
At the age of 4,
No, I think they're pretty like open. They don't really care. They don't really care, and I think that's why there's like a boom of like Buddhism in like Western cultures. I think it's like there's probably like extreme branch of Buddhism that are like they gatekeep, but like I think most religions are kind of happy to have like new people if they're not like extreme. Even the Catholics is like, I'm talking about Judaism. Judaism, you kind of have, oh yeah, I mean, the thing with Judaism, you kind of need your mother to be a Jew.
child in the Tsang region of Tibet declares, "Mum, Dad, I am."
So
the
I
first
guess
Dalai
Judaism
Lama,
you
and
can't.
I'd like to see my monks again. And is
I guess they're
confirmed as the
gatekeeping
first
it for the
incarnation
families.
of the Dalai Lama.
Well,
He has
find
been
yourself
known
a nice
to
Jewish
reincarnation
girl.
At the age of 67, his reincarnation is found just a
Maybe
few
it doesn't
years
work like
later,
that,
and
but
so on and so on, up until the 6th Dalai Lama. So this is a weird one. Due to events too finicky to go into, the 6th incarnation was recognized as the Dalai Lama a bit late, around the age of 15. A few years later, though, when it got time to take his full vows,
I think there's a Dalai Lama that was like, he didn't want to get like. Kill yourself. This is not funny, dude. Who's making this? Who am I going to kill? Nick? You piece of. You better clip, huh? You're always there making me like go react, and you're not even going to clip my weird reaction. I'm still in Mega Bunk, by the way. I still haven't changed the category. I swear to God, I'm going to get rid of Pedro. It's not like this is bad. Can we listen to Buddhism? No, that's Dr. K. I don't care.
he refused, and it was not uncommon to see him staggering drunk around the
Ah!
and visiting brothels for some scripture and chill, maybe. He also wrote some
Classic.
romantic and kinda sometimes kinky poetry. If I could meditate as deeply on the sacred texts as I do on you, I would clearly be enlightened in this lifetime. As in, school is cool, but baby, for you, I got it bad. As we discussed, Tibetan
That's
Buddhism
great.
is
Monkey!
just one branch of many, but across all the various schools of Buddhism, Mahayana, Theravada, and so on, there are some pillars that are just universally agreed upon. To begin with, there are the Four Noble Truths, which are 1. Existing is a bit crap, namely full of dukkha, dissatisfaction.
Alright, so
To
that's
be is
fuck.
to want. To want is to eventually
Learn the Four Noble Truths, okay? We learned the four. Wait. Learn the Four Noble Truths, and I'll go, okay? Because the Four Noble Truths are kind of great. Four Noble Truths. I should know them by heart. The truth of suffering. Whatever. I don't care. I might end here too. I've been streaming for 3 hours. That was fun, man. Peace out, bro. Peace out. I'm going to leave too. My desire to sleep. No more